Hi everyone, I'm Leo and welcome to my channel. Today I would like to talk about ethics in the Pokemon world, and more specifically about a question that has been haunting me for years. Is it right or wrong to battle with Pokemon? You don't have to be an very old Pokemon player like me to have existential crises like this. I think this question came to everyone's mind while watching our Pokemon one-shotted by a super effective attack or slowly faint from poison. Today, I want to try to make an analysis of what Pokemon battles are and give you my definitive answer about it, to finally find peace for my mind and maybe for yours too. The first time this thought came to me was with the first Pokemon movie, released when I was still a kid, and precisely right after I saw the scene where Pokemon fight with their clones, created by Mewtwo. In this scene, the trainers complained that the Pokemon shouldn't fight like this. And I remember my puzzled younger self thinking, but we are Pokemon trainers, this is what we do, we fight with Pokemon. In Pokemon Black and White, this topic has become the focus of the story, thanks to the character of N, the orphan raised among Pokemon and manipulated by Gestis to carry out his evil plan. In fact, N says he can hear what Pokemon think. He says that the fights are useless and that the only salvation for the Pokemon is to free them from the trainers. Leaving aside the Pokeball question for now and whether or not Pokemon are to be considered imprisoned inside them, which could be a topic for a separate video, I would like to focus only on the battles. Obviously, the doubt arises from the fact that we compare Pokemon to animals, because their design resembles that of animals, and because their role in their universe compared to ours is similar to that of animals. And since the battles between animals that occur in nature are a brutal and cruel thing, this leads us to think the same thing about battles between Pokemon. But to be precise, the existence of real animals in the Pokemon world has been confirmed in the past by several appearances in the anime and other products, with images of fishes, insects and other animals. Also, the characters and the Pokemon themselves had to eat something, and I doubt they all fed up on berries, slowpoke tails and Tropius fruits. Therefore, if animals exist in the world of Pokemon, even if they are much less numerous than in our world, Pokemon are to be considered intermediate creatures, different from both humans and animals of this world, but with characteristics of both. The first feature of Pokemon, especially wild ones, is undoubtedly their aggressiveness. In fact, while we are running along the road to become the very best, we are continually interrupted by countless Pokemon ready to attack us as soon as we enter the tall grass or invade their territory. Pokemon are not the kind of creatures that run away when they see men. They are combative, brave and tough. Maybe not all of them. There are certainly Pokemon who prefer to relax and enjoy the gifts of nature, but many of them are aggressive and sometimes even ferocious. The evolution of Pokemon games has also shown us new features of wild Pokemon life, giving us the possibility to encounter multiple wild Pokemon together in groups, such as the orders of Pokemon introduced in Pokemon X and Y, to the packs of wild Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet. It therefore seems that even Pokemon, like animals, choose to live in herds or packs as the chances of survival increase by living together. And it is logical to think that, as for animals, at the head of these groups there is a leader, an alpha Pokemon who coordinates and commands the group. We don't necessarily have to think of an alpha Pokemon like those of Legend Arceus, gigantic with red eyes, but rather of Pokemon that reign over the group because they have surpassed the others in strength and cunning. Given the combative nature of Pokemon, it is probable that even the choice of the group leader takes place following battles for domination, with numerous males or females engaging in furious battles to decide who is destined to reign over the pack, to designate the various roles within it, and maybe to have priority access to mating. But since Pokemon are less driven by instinct than animals and experience more human feelings such as affection, frustration and anger, it is legitimate to think that the role of subordinate in the pack does not please everyone. As for humans, it is always difficult to accept a leader. Therefore, when these battles for power do not have tragic outcomes, as in the animals' world, there are some Pokemon of the pack who are forced to adapt, others who perhaps wait in the shadows for a misstep by the alpha to take his place, and others who probably leave the pack in search of their roles somewhere else, choosing a lonely but less secure life. In addition to battles within the pack, there are certainly battles between multiple groups of Pokemon of the same or different species. And it is logical to think that since we are talking about survival, although Pokemon have a propensity for fighting, these battles are not friendly at all, and sometimes they are even deadly. The second feature of Pokemon is the ability to evolve, not over millions of years, but quickly and clearly. But while evolution is a common process for trainer Pokémon, it is a rare thing in nature. Only some Pokémon reach an evolved stage, and even fewer reach their final evolution. There are also examples of Pokémon still in their base form that have long passed the evolutionary level, such as the over-leveled giant Magikarp that we can find in basically every generation of games, and others already evolved even if they are on the level. It seems that in the world of wild Pokémon, evolution is not just a matter of level and experience, but also of natural predisposition, the same natural predisposition that can favor one Pokémon over another and lead it to prevail over the pack. The other less gifted Pokémon are therefore forced to submit to the pack leader and his will, wander in search of food for the community, or abandon the pack and try to survive on their own. And this is where the trainer comes into play in this ecosystem. The Pokémon by its nature is inclined to attack the trainer not only for defense, but for true combative nature and natural propensity to fight, and trainers who are good enough can manage to defeat and capture this Pokémon. It is interesting to think that the balance of the packs is altered with the intervention of the trainer. For example, if he caught an alpha Pokémon, he will give the possibility to another Pokémon of the pack to take his place. The captured Pokémon, on the other hand, soon realizes that he won't have to worry about battles for power, territory or getting food anymore, because now it's the trainer who takes care of him and his survival. A kind of sponsor, doctor and fitness coach. Thanks to the trainer, the Pokémon is free to vent its competitive nature and focus on fighting. The propensity to fight is also accompanied by a desire to win of the Pokémon. Maybe you remember in Pokémon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, Appu's grandmother's Mugsdale, furious because he kept losing, and Appu's grandmother's trying to console him. Although Pokémon games are certainly not famous for their difficulty, being a good Pokémon trainer is theoretically a very long and tiring journey. As we know, young trainers have to study in schools and academies if they want to become the very best. In fact, Pokémon battles between trainers are very different from the battles wild Pokémon are used to. The trainer coordinates the moves, chooses the best attack, and above all, never makes the Pokémon fight to the death, because he knows when to stop. Battles between Pokémon trainers are like boxing matches, ending in a knockout, or when the trainer decides that the Pokémon is no longer able to fight and withdraws it. Being a great Pokémon trainer requires technique, experience and talent, and we know very well that the best Pokémon trainers are real celebrities in the world, sometimes considered almost heroes. The level and skills of the trainer are everything, and the Pokémon knows it well. Even if captured, as we know, it is the Pokémon who decides whether the trainer has what it takes to train him or not. And when the trainer's level is too low, the Pokémon does not obey him and does not respect him, because it does not recognize him as a worthy trainer. The Pokémon waits in his Pokéball and watches the trainer who caught him train hard and earn badges, one after another, until he sees in him a champion he can trust. Thanks to this bond, the Pokémon can in turn demonstrate his value through fight, and have his chance to shine, reaching a level that in nature would have been very difficult to reach, and being able to grow and evolve. But unfortunately, we know well that not all Pokémon have good trainers. Sometimes they end up in the hands of mediocre trainers, or worse, evil teams that are not interested in creating any bond with their Pokémon, but they just want to carry out their evil plans. We know very well that the recruits of evil teams are never good trainers, and theoretically Pokémon should not obey a bad trainer. Yet evil teams fight with many Pokémon at their command. This could mean that there are other ways to make Pokémon obey you, probably less fair and more violent. Did you know that Gastly's Hydreigon has the minimum friendship level? This means that his move Frustration has the maximum possible damage. And sadly, this also means that Hydreigon deeply hates his trainer, and we can imagine why. There are also exceptions here. As we know, Giovanni, despite being a criminal, was the gym leader of Viridian City, and this makes him a very capable trainer, so theoretically he shouldn't have had any problems training and gaining respect from his Pokémon. And now, after this long analysis, we return to our question. Is it right or wrong to battle with Pokémon? We can say yes, battling with Pokémon is right, without worrying about ethics. Because Pokémon are neither animals nor humans. They are highly intelligent and are genetically predisposed to fight and test themselves. And we trainers have Pokémon to follow their nature, to grow and evolve, we create a strong bond of trust with them, and we prevent them from facing brutal and deadly battles like those for survival. It is the duty of every trainer to improve day after day, respect his Pokémon, look after them and give them affection and trust. And it's also every trainer's duty to kick the evil team's ass every day to teach them how the world works. And that's all for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know your opinion in the comments, and if you want, leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for stopping by, and see you next time. Bye!